Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. We back at it. Max, how you feeling, bro?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. We just got done setting up all this stuff. But football season's back. It's around the corner, basically. Not officially back. Time that we're recording this is, what, August 6th?
August 6th.
August 6th. So a little bit later than we like, but we're back at it with the NFL previews, bro. So every division, every team, we're going to talk over-unders. Mm-hmm. And as of last year, you won. Well, we tied?
No, I won.
You won by one.
Yeah, I think so.
We both did shitty, though.
Yeah. I'm going to do better this year.
Yeah. And there's no other place to start this series than the AFC West. Yeah. My favorite teams in that division. We got the Super Bowl champions in that division. So all that good stuff, bro. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that good stuff. Comment down below what your thoughts are on the division. All right. Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to start off from where the standings were of last year. Okay. So obviously Super Bowl champs won the division, bringing back Andy Reid.
New OC in town, Matt Nagy. New but old.
Kind of old, yeah. He was
familiar. He was their OC once upon a time. Got a job. Was bad.
Was pretty bad.
They still got Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, so. Steve Spagnuolo coming back. 14-3 last year. Obviously won the division.
God.
A couple of the storylines. We got loss of Eric Bieniemy, who moved on to Washington.
A lot of people don't think that's as big a loss. I mean, get it. Granted, I get it. Andy Reid's there. Like, we kind of know he's the mastermind behind a lot, but you never know how big a coach could leave it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like the Eagles, who lost their OC, and DC, who became both head coaches, but I don't know. What do you think? How big is the loss of Eric Bieniemy?
I think it's pretty big. I think he had his hands wrapped up pretty much as second command to Andy Reid, and we'll see how much command Matt Nagy has, but you have to think Andy Reid's at least 50% in the offense. At the least.
I think that number might be a little higher.
It's kind of hard for storylines this year. Last year, it was the Tyreek Hill loss of him. They have proven, obviously.
We made a video about it.
they can obviously
win
survive.
Without him.
Yeah, survive and win the Super Bowl. That at it. But loss of Eric Bieniemy. Is that really the biggest storyline for you, Max, though?
I just think maybe fatigue. Fatigue is the biggest enemy. Like, I feel like we saw that last year, but like, let's just count Mahomes since he became a starter.
Yeah.
Super Bowl loss.
Yeah.
AFC Championship game, Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. And a couple of other things, defensive step forward.
Yeah, defensive step forward. I mean, they did get some guys like their defense last year. They got George Karlaftis, McDuffie. Those are guys coming back who maybe have sophomore breakouts and they also added Rashee Rice on offense, and they added on defense Felix and Dookie. Sorry if I said that wrong. Uzama. Yeah.
Which I like.
You liked him. He's one of your honorable mentions, I think. He didn't make it, but
great pick for them. Signed Juwan Taylor, 4 years, $80 million.
Well, Orlando Brown out.
Juwan Taylor in. Upgrade. I think
it's not necessarily an upgrade. You're not really losing anything.
Yeah.
Like if they get what Orlando Brown did last year, they're fine.
Right. Drew Tranquill, who's a former Charger.
Stay in the
loves
division.
to pick off Derek Carr over the middle.
Yeah, he does. That happens.
And Charles Omenihu.
Suspended, though, first 6 games.
But they have depth. They have Karlaftis, the guy that they drafted last year.
Chris Jones is kind of holding out, but they'll get that settled. I'm not worried about that.
Exactly. Some of the losses, let's go ahead and hit on that. We hit on Orlando Brown. Andrew Wiley moved on to Washington. Kalen Saunders to New Orleans. And Juju Smith moved on to the Patriots.
What a fit.
So there goes your key additions and key losses. Let's go ahead and hit this over-under, man. 11.5. So I would say that's kind of low. I'm surprised that they have 11.5. I would have thought that the line would be a little bit
if it was 12.5, would you have been like, ugh.
Yeah. It didn't make me think. I think the obvious
I went
answer,
over easily.
I went over
wasn't
too.
Really. There is some unknown in the division with about. Obviously, we're going to talk about Sean Payton and the Broncos to see how much he can do. The Chargers, again, though, I think they're going to be middling with their head coach.
Right.
And then the Raiders, who are kind of like arguably the worst team in the division. No offense.
Look, I think the only competitors here are the Chargers to the Chiefs. As far as in the division, I do think they're one of those teams in the league that are capable of beating them at any point in time.
I feel like the Chargers are so built to beat them.
They fit.
It's not like, if they played Baltimore, you're like, ugh.
Right. But I think the biggest thing is that they can shoot out. Like, I feel like Herbert can go head-to-head with Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as anyone else in the league, I would throw up the Eagles in there. And what would be another team they're real contenders? Because it's not the Bucks anymore. Like, they're out of the picture.
Buffalo. But again, I don't think Buffalo's in the class of kids.
They've proven to be
Cincinnati
Buffalo.
is in their class.
That's the answer I'm looking
Cincinnati.
for. So Cincinnati, Eagles, and Chargers, I think, are their only three enemies right now. And when it comes down to this year, I still have confidence they can beat them. I don't feel like nothing has changed with neither of those teams as far as them upgrading or the Chiefs degrading. And
let's say like it'd be different if Chris Jones was gone or somebody like that,
right.
That caliber. But my thing is, if they go to a Super Bowl again or another deep playoff run, like this is getting ridiculous. Like 5 in a row, 5 deep playoff runs. Like you got to think
this one's going to be back to back.
Yeah. They've gone to what 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls. So like at some point you just got to think like, hey, like it's got to just fall off the wheels. Maybe they have one bad year. Like obviously there's a Mahomes injury that derails the whole season, but that's the case for every starting quarterback, you know.
And it's kind of hard to think of worst case scenario that we have up on the screen.
It's literally Mahomes gets injured, but like I don't want to be the type of people that's like every quarterback gets hurt. It's the cop out answer.
Yeah.
But I don't really see anything slowing this team down, and they've actually proven they can kind of win a game or two without Mahomes.
Yeah, and there's quote unquote Super Bowl hangover was them getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and then the year they lost, they were gonna go there, and they just kind of like collapsed, which was so odd.
But I do think that last one that you have on there, the man Nagy can't hack it. Let's see how long Andy Reid deals with him. Like, there's no doubt that he might struggle at some point during the season, but how long is that leash going to be?
Who do they play week 1?
I don't know I think they play Detroit. I think that's the opener, right? Chiefs in Detroit.
That's such a weird opener.
It is a weird
It
opener.
Is. Wow. They might just shred Detroit's defense a little bit.
I like Detroit, though.
I like them too.
But I do think that's a tall task. It's like an automatic loss, in my opinion, for opening night if the team's at home.
Yeah.
Minus the Broncos a couple of years back. But best case scenario, Super Bowl again. They replaced the talent. They lost. Defense steps up. All that good stuff. Yeah. There's only one more thing I want to bring up.
Okay.
We know Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, one guy I'm so confident on this year. He's been getting a lot of work. My boy Ross. Justin Ross.
Your boy. My boy.
Our boy. Our boy.
I actually really like him. I don't want to.
Have you been hearing the buzz?
Oh, I have. I remember saying to you, like, he had that weird neck thing.
Yeah.
People don't remember as a freshman, he dominated college football. So I'm really excited. I'm rooting for the kid because I really liked him coming out.
Last year, he had some flashes in mini camp.
And then I think they IR'd him as kind of like, hey,
precaution.
You're staying, but we just can't. If they practice squad you might be gone.
Yeah, because we're waiting for Sky Moore. Sky Moore was like, Kadarius Toney. I still don't trust him.
I think Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney just are guys with going to be roles. You're never going to see them like break out. Like it's like, oh, Kadarius Toney's fun. For like, there'll be a game where he's good, right?
But there'll be a game where he gets hurt. Which he already is. He already is. He's hurt.
He already had like 2 knee surgeries this offseason. Yeah.
So we already gave the over-under. Usually we do that at the end of the talk, but I think it's obvious. 11.5. Me and Max both go over. Let's go ahead and move on, man. Let's go to the San Diego Chargers. Oops.
Did you really say that?
Oops.
Did you really do that?
The Los Angeles Chargers. Bringing back Brandon Staley. Great addition right here. Offensive coordinator Kellen Moore coming over from the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a great one. Compared to what they had, Max. Compared to what they had.
Yeah. I mean, I still think there's things to leave, like to be desired with Kellen Moore, but we'll get into that.
As an OC, he's fine, though.
I don't think he's that great.
You don't think so?
I think he does some basic shit. It's not like a Sean Payton. It's not like...
okay, where were they last year on a scale of 1 to 10? Their offensive play calling.
5.
Stop. You're
5
being generous.
or 4.
They were like a fucking 3 or 2, Max.
Okay. So if he's like a 6 or 7, I guess you're like, oh. I mean, maybe they can, throw the ball deep this year. But
Thank you.
They also have a new GC, Ronaldo Hill.
Ronaldo.
So it is it is a Brandon Staley thing where it's like he's obviously gonna have his fingerprints, but like right away, like their over under is gonna be 9.5. We'll get into it. Last year they were 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
They collapsed against the Jaguars.
Yeah,
classic Charger fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what do you think the big storylines are? Obviously,
I think it seems like they're kind of over it.
Staley is just on the fucking
hot seat.
Like it's hot.
What's his hot seat?
10.
10.
10.
Okay.
10 or not.
Glad we agree.
So is 10 like you're about to get fired, or 10 is like the pressure he's under right now?
They start off 0-4.
He's gone.
He's
I would fire him right away. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Wouldn't you?
I would have fired him 2 years ago. You know
Exactly. Yeah, after the Raider game. Yeah, exactly.
Storylines. Herbert injury. What's about that?
I just remember him getting banged up last year, and I want them to protect him. Obviously, Rashawn Slater not playing at all. Playing one game was a big loss. I kind of like their O-line. Zion Johnson was good. Rashawn Slater comes back. Treader comes back. I think they had that rookie from Georgia who actually played pretty well at left tackle. Mm-hmm. So I think they can be able to protect him. And obviously, you had this shit with Austin Eckler. Like, I mean, dude, you're a running back. We'll talk about it a little later. But
the big one right here still can't stop the run. There were
how many fucking years are we going to talk about this, dude?
And my whole thing is this, Max. Your coach, your head coach, whatever specialty that he has, Sean Payton.
I know. That's why I wrote that.
It's ridiculous to me. I get it. First year, I get it. Get your own guys. You have that excuse. What happened in year 2? You had your guys, and I know they had injuries, but you had your guys in there. And there's no reason why that this team, with a guy like Khalil Mack and a guy like Bosa, when he was playing, I know Bosa was hurt, but with all those pieces, you should not be that bad. That's not the run.
I agree. And they got Sebastian Joseph Day, who's a premier run stopper. Yeah. Look, they got some cool guys I really like. I like Quentin Johnson. I think from what I've been seeing, the way they're using him, it's not like, oh, you're a big body. It's like he's their burner, kind of. He's like the speed on their team that they kind of desperately need. They need somebody fast on this team. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get it. Like, Mike Williams, you know how much I like him. Keenan Allen's good in the slot. There got to be some big play. You can't have this caliber of arm and talent in Herbert and just never throw the fucking ball deep. Ever. Yeah.
I know.
And they got your linebacker that you love, Henley.
I love Henley. I do. And they lost Tranquil.
Who gives a fuck? He's trash.
I know, but, Henley's going to get that spot. Eric Kendricks, of course.
I feel like Henley could be Kyle Van Noy 2.0.
You think so?
Like, kind of rush him, drop him back, like Swiss knife. They got Tulilo Tupupu. Sorry. He's solid USC
From
guy.
SC.
Yeah. What about this, though? Where's the big money on this team on defense? Bosa. Who's their cornerback who got paid?
J.C. Jackson.
Bounced back from both. And Mac a little bit. Like they need.
Is J.C. Jackson going to start the season?
You got to. You pay him that much. You got to just see what he's about.
No. Like, I'm saying for the injury.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Did he tear his Achilles?
Patellar tendon.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad injury.
So apparently he went to the medical tent during the practice, but
okay.
But I guess he's practicing, which is good.
So my whole thing with these receivers, I know you don't like fantasy, but I think if you're a fantasy guy and you're looking at the Chargers, you know they're going to have an explosive offense. Do not draft Keenan Allen.
You can't count on him to be healthy.
Look, as far as game-wise, like them in big games, I do think he's going to be an impact. But as far as the grueling, long NFL season, he's not going to be.
Do you think it's been miraculous that he's been as healthy as he's been?
Well, it's his game.
No. I'm just saying though. Like, remember how when he tore his ACL back to back?
Yeah, it was bad.
It's been a miracle he's played this good and for this long. But I mean, Mike Williams too. You're gonna count on what 4 games he'll miss?
Right, and
banged up.
They had the choice of Zay Flowers in the draft.
They did,
and they drafted Quentin Johnson. And I think
you're a big Zay Flowers guy.
Yeah, I'm a big Zay Flowers fan, but the Quentin Johnson fit on what they're going to ask him to do is perfect. I'm saying.
It's not like they're like, hey, just line up wide and just jump ball. It's like, oh, he's getting by everybody.
Yeah. So I think Quentin Johnson and Mike Williams, of course, if they stay healthy, I think they're going to kill it. They're going to absolutely kill it, man. And I think Keenan Allen's going to take a back seat. He's going to play the slot. He's not going to get that many numbers, maybe high touchdowns. Touchdowns are hard to predict, though. But as far as this Charger team goes,
I need more toughness out of him, though. You need more toughness, right?
Yeah.
Both sides. Like, if you can't,
the identity of the head coach,
you can't stop the run. You better be able to run the ball. Like, you can't get bullied in the trenches both ways.
Right.
That's just mine.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? You think they're going to go over 9.5? I'm going to say this for me. You know, I'm a big believer in the Chargers. They're going to go over, but it's going to be 10. It's not going to be like 12.
You know what, though? You're a little bit more modest on the Chargers this year than you've been last year.
I was fucking gog. Yeah,
last 2 you've been gog.
Yeah,
but
100%.
So best case that we have for the Chargers, Herbert MVP season.
Yeah, I like it.
Staley proves himself. Pass game elite. Challenge.
I think they challenge. Like
we said
best
it.
Case is like, yo, they might win the fucking division. Now I don't know. That is like a very, 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 very rare thing that might happen. But like, I feel like best case is really good. Mm-hmm. Worst case is like, oh fuck, we're like 2-10. We fired Staley.
Yeah. I used to say this with the San Francisco 49ers because you wrote right here, everyone stay healthy. Mac, Bosa bounce back from JC.
Yeah.
I don't know who their strength and conditioning staff is, but let's go ahead and get that under control, Chargers, and make sure we don't have injuries this year because it seems like they always get bit by the injury bug.
Yeah, and there's
every
always
single year.
Yeah, it's always like the stars too. It's not like, oh fuck, our long.
And it's like crucial injuries. Bosa, the left tackle, I'm forgetting his name. Rashawn Slater, Herbert. So this year you got to stay healthy. Change up something in the building, whether it's firing people from the strength and conditioning, improving that, whatever. Ice baths. I don't care what the fuck it is. Stay healthy, Chargers, because that's what stands in your way most of the time. Because the Chargers will always find a way to charger, it seems like, whether it's injuries or choking. So, with all that said, what are you doing? Over or under?
Over, but like 10 games.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be
over under 9.5. I'm going to go over.
Barely, though, right?
Barely.
Okay, I like it.
Barely over.
All right, Juan. You do the talking. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about the next team.
All right, Las Vegas Raiders. We are here. We're doing it a little bit early, man. Usually we wait till the last one, but, that grueling AFC West last year, Raiders winning the division and all. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't even. I think it sums up like how I think of the Raiders. I don't know at this point. All I do know is that last year was a mad disappointment. 6-11. Third in the division, missed the playoffs.
At least you don't have the Derek Carr like bullshit hanging over your head.
I'll get into that, but Josh McDaniels coming back, bringing back the band basically. Patrick Graham, Mike Lombardi, even though McDaniels is the main play caller. The main storylines though, life after Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, is he happy?
What's the chances?
I think it's high.
He gets moved, yeah?
Not right now. I think
no. When it goes bad, I think they'll be like, yeah.
Right. Like Jets written all over it. Like you got Rodgers taking pay cuts and shit online thinking saving room for Adams. That would be absolutely
He was also
crazy.
like, there's big ticket stars at the deadline. He's like, I think the Raiders might suck.
Jimmy G in town, our favorite quarterback, not. Rebuild offense, multiple pass rushers. That's a positive.
Yeah,
it's a good storyline.
I think so.
And McDaniel's on the hot seat, just like Brandon Staley. A couple coaches in this division with hot seats. Him and McDaniel's. I think it's the same boat. 0-4. Like, I think you're out. Like,
I think the
Raiders. Do you keep them 0-4?
I think the Raiders would, just because what the fuck?
They put so much into it.
Yeah, it's like you might as well just let it ride. Like, you'll fire him at the end of the
Williams
year.
time?
Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? Like, Derek Carr, we lived in this reality, like, is he or is he not? At least we know with Jimmy G, he's not. Right? Like, you're cool to say, like, we know he's not the guy.
Look, I'm gonna say this.
He wins a lot.
Yeah, I get it. I have a theory here. What happened? I don't think the Raiders necessarily thought Derek Carr was bad. Did he play bad last year? I mean, take that with a grain of salt. I mean, depends how you look at it. Because he had good games. The Raiders were in games last year, Max.
Yeah, okay.
They could have won 10 games if things would have flipped. How many close games did they have? Multiple.
A lot. I think once they benched him, it was
so
they're like, we just need to move on.
I think this is what happened.
Okay.
They got out of the playoff contention, right? After that Steeler game. It was done.
Thought they were going to get something for him in free agency.
Yeah, and so he had the trade clause in there, or the injury clause, should I say. If he would have got hurt, they would have got nothing. They panicked. They said, let's go ahead and sit Derek Carr. They fucked up. They took advantage of a guy that's very, very loyal, and they thought he was going to stay loyal to the very end. He wound up becoming sour. Who did they see in the offseason, Max?
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Who did they see in the offseason, Max? Tom Brady. The Raiders thought they were going to get Tom Brady. So they thought, transition easy. Fuck Derek Carr. We're going to get Tom Brady. What happened?
Got his backup.
Yeah, and Tom Brady was like, nah, I'm good. I'm probably going to play for the Dolphins maybe, or maybe own half of your fucking team owner route. So, no. Oh, shit. This is from the Raiders POV. Like, we're fucked. Let's go ahead and get Jimmy G. He's the best option because Derek Carr's not coming back.
Yeah, he's like Brady. He's handsome.
Right.
Women
and
like him.
I think that's what happened. I think that was a panic move by the Raiders with the whole Jimmy G situation.
Okay.
And it's so stupid, bro. And that's the one red flag I have with I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, our GM. I'm blanking today.
Oh my God, I'm blanking too.
Yeah, McDaniels and
the guy from New England.
Yes.
Here, I'll tell you.
Greg Ziegler.
Dave Ziegler.
Dave Ziegler. Sorry. My goodness. That's the first red flag I have from Ziegler. And it worries the shit out of me because as we look at the key additions, I actually like their draft. I think it's one of the best drafts that they had in the last 4 years.
Tyree Wilson is a dog when he's healthy, and I think he's getting healthy, but he'll be a dog. Michael Mayer, a lot of people tight end number one. People really liked him.
They got Ja'Cory Bennett, another guy. He's starting in training camp right now with
Marcus Epps. He was great.
Marcus Epps.
Jacoby Myers, I know he gave the Raiders a dub last year, but he's actually was the best receiver on New England.
Right.
So he's actually a good player.
And key losses, we obviously said Derek Carr to New Orleans Saints, who they got fucked out of. Let's just be honest. They got nothing for Derek Carr. So that ship has sailed. Yeah. Darren Waller, they got something. But what was it, like a 6th-round pick?
Yeah, nothing much. Yeah.
Nothing
much. Waller's talent surpasses what they got, but he just can't be available.
I like the flop, though. I like the flip, should I say.
Yeah.
With Michael Mayer. I don't think he's going to produce this year because it's hard for rookie tight ends to come out of the gates. But I do think in the long haul, I like the bet on Michael Mayer. Darren Waller, a guy that had a lot of injuries.
A lot of talent. But
but he was never on the field.
What did he play, 3 games last year? 4 games?
If that. You know what I mean? He was hurt for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So
had his breakout, got paid, and kind of been hurt.
Yeah. So the Raiders are in the middle right now, and it's no man's land because they have too much talent with Devontae Adams and Max Crosby, who took us way too long to mention Max Crosby.
A little bit. Well, we'll be mentioning him. Don't worry.
Exactly. But with so much talent on the team, a guy like Josh Jacobs, who was an All-Pro last year, it's just too good.
What about Josh Jacobs, though? What do you think? What are we thinking here? What do you want to do?
I mean, you franchise tag him.
He did, but can't get him to show. I mean, I don't think there'll ever be another running back that Le'Veon Bell's it.
Right.
So let me just take the year of money.
Right. Let's go ahead and do the over under, and let's have a separate topic on those running backs.
Yeah. I'm
down to do it this video.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're in no man's land. They have way too much talent, Max. So it's this over under.
I don't know 6. I don't think about that. No. I don't think so.
Come on, Jimmy G. Come on. I know
hanging your hat on that, buddy.
Are you really gonna hang your hat on them only winning 2 games?
No, I'd say 4 or 5.
But
under.
Over under 6.5.
They won 6 last year.
I'm going under 2 just because I think Jimmy G is gonna get hurt.
Are you just saying under just so when you guys go over, you can be really excited and be like, "Yeah, fuck, we got some."
Probably. Look, if we go under, I hope we go way under because I'm hoping for Caleb Williams.
I love it. You're already tanking.
I know.
What a guy.
But it's hard. It's hard being a Raider fan right now, Max. So we're doing the under on the Raiders, man. Any other thoughts on the Raiders? I love the Tyree Wilson.
I'm excited to see him and Crosby together.
Yeah, and Chandler Jones. Look, the defense, we're recording this August 6th, so the Raiders have already had 2 padded practices.
One's in on
Hey, I'm in on the defense.
2 practices.
I'm in on the defense, baby. They're getting picks out there. Ja'Cory Bennett is starting. Marcus Peters, meant to be a Raider his whole life.
Yeah.
But the offense sucked. Jimmy G threw 3 picks, so take that to the bank and do whatever you want with it. So we got under for the Raiders. Let's go ahead and move on to Josh Jacobs and the whole running back situation.
Saquon Barkley, throw him in there.
Eckler's mad.
So what do you think?
Dalvin Cook got cut.
What do you think about it all? I mean, okay, so I think we have a unique perspective in the terms. Okay, we made a video called.
We know what's wrong, right? We know why. So
Well, I don't think
why? Okay.
I don't think it's wrong. I mean, I get how it sucks, but I don't think it's wrong. Like, so first of all, we made a video called "Don't Pay a Wide Receiver," which I think we kind of had a point to it. It doesn't mean obviously you have Justin Jefferson, pay the motherfucker, but there's also an alternative out there. Now, the big difference between running back and wide receiver is receivers' injuries are a lot less than running back. And let's be real. I'm going to name some running backs who signed the big deals. Zeke Elliott, Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, Derrick Henry for a little bit. He's kind of in this.
He's the out. He's the.
But I mean, even last year, like he had a good year, but he got hurt.
He got hurt the year before that too.
He got hurt. And so, I mean, Bell, Gurley, and Zeke were just like horror stories. Like, oh my God, why the fuck did we do this?
Right.
You think about running backs who were highly picked, like Leonard Fournette, never got the big payday. Really good football player. I like Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
He was a beast for the Jags. He kind of put them on the map a little bit, but I don't think they want to complain and say it sucks. And I mean, that's just the nature of it. The only way to fix it is to give the running backs more money in the rookie deal, because you give them more money there. Most running backs don't see a second contract.
What was the highest paid running back in the league right now?
Probably Bijan Robinson, right?
Yeah. He's a rookie. He hasn't even paid it down.
Well, I think Saquon's going to make more than him when he signs the tag.
But
there's no guaranteed money for him. It's like $10 million. So this is the problem.
No, I don't think he'll make more money.
For 1 year, yeah, he will.
No, because
Bijan's getting 7 right now. If he signs that contract, I think it'll be 10.
Okay.
Or something. But the problem is with the running back position, obviously the shelf life's low. So is an NFL player, let's take quarterbacks out of the equation. If you're an NFL player, you're living to that second contract. You're like, can't wait to get paid.
Yeah.
Me and you've talked about this. You'd almost rather be picked in the second or third round as a running back rather than the first round. The first round is what fucks you.
Shit, why wouldn't you just go undrafted?
It's the first round is what fucks running backs, because you have 4 years and then the 5th year.
Yeah.
Those 4 years, you will get tons of stats, accolades, carries, but all that's good and dandy, but you'll never see that second contract. And that's where you want your money. And I get it from a team's perspective. It's like, hey, we've given Le'Veon Bell 1,200 touches in 4 years. How much treads on the tire? I get it.
Yeah.
And there's so many good ones. And I think what we've learned, and the big difference that no one's talking about, is, hey, it's not a running back league anymore. 2000? Who are the best running backs in the 2000s? Ezra and James, Sean Alexander, fucking Jerome Bettis.
I get you.
It's not a running league anymore. So why, if your offense isn't really based on running backs, so like as the running backs aren't the marquee player of your team, why invest a ton of money in them?
Okay, look, I understand it's not to the magnitude of the 90s and the 80s, whatever.
2000. It's just in the game's changed.
I get that, Max, but I kind of disagree of saying that, like, I think it's blown out of proportion of saying, like, it's not important. You still got to run the ball, and you still have to have a good running back in there. Like, look at the Rams. The Rams were able to, I believe they were able to run the ball. It's just the running back sucked. They just were not good.
Think about the Rams are a case on my side, I would say. Look at when they had their team focused on the running back, Gurley.
And they were worse all around.
Or not worse all around. They went to a Super Bowl and lost. Mm-hmm. Who was their running back in their Super Bowl year?
Yeah.
Who was it? Tell me. I don't.
Darrell Henderson. I don't fucking know.
Fucking Cam Akers. Sorry ass.
Cam Akers. Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Like Joe Mixon's pretty highly paid. He had to take a pay cut.
But to take a pay cut.
I just think look, the days of running backs getting paid are over, and it sucks to say. Okay. The only way to change it is when they come out in the draft, you pay them higher. Like, doesn't fucking matter what round they go in. They get a higher chunk of the change.
That's one way, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think a way to do this is something has to be rewarded to the team as far as paying a running back. It's kind of like what I said with basketball. Same kind of idea. The running backs don't get counted towards the salary cap as much as another player. So meaning you can pay him more.
That'll never happen. Like, you can't
don't think that'll ever happen?
That's too slippery of a fucking slope.
But there has to be some kind of incentive there because right now there's no incentive.
Running backs have no leverage because it's like, first of all, here's the problem. Who the fuck did the Eagles? Eagles had the best run game in football last year, right? Mm-hmm. Do we have a good running back? Do we have a special running back?
No.
Why do we have a good running game? We had a great offensive line, great scheme. Mm-hmm. When your position can kind of be like, here's my thing, right? Who's the best running back in football right now? Just tell me. McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. He gets hurt.
No, not even about that. So McCaffrey's here, right?
Yeah.
If I have a really good scheme and an okay running back, aren't I kind of like right there?
Yeah.
Is that difference really going to prevent me from going to the Super Bowl?
It's just hard. It's
if
hard.
I have Jimmy G as a quarterback or I have Patrick fucking Mahomes,
right.
that's going to fucking prevent me from going to the Super Bowl.
Like, I'll give you an example. Like, maybe it doesn't matter as much with the 49ers, but like a team like the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs was the reason why he...
Best running back in football last year.
I know.
Best running back.
But that just goes to show you we didn't have a good line. We didn't necessarily have a bad line, but Josh Jacobs elevated our run game.
Yeah.
And that's very rare in the NFL. That's on the case-by-case scenario.
Yeah.
My whole thing is like, there's no incentive right now. Like you said, you keep on naming them, whether it's injuries, whether it's I can have a good offensive line and put my money there. The only incentive is them having the team rewarded. That's the only way.
Josh Jacobs has run the ball 1,000 times in his 4-year career. He just had 340 touches. Yeah. And this was a guy, Josh Jacobs, he's 25 years old. Didn't get a lot of touches in college. That was a big thing with him. Barely played in college.
Yeah.
This is a prime fucking guy who should get a contract.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he might be one of the few that kind of can change the thing, but the running, like Jonathan Taylor, all his shit, we didn't mention him. His whole shit. And Jim Irsay is a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
So.
And even a guy like Dalvin Cook. Like,
so
how does
good.
a guy like him get cut? Because of the running back position.
Because of the money he was making, too. Yeah. I think Dalvin Cook's a hell of a player still.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. If they can have an incentive there that lessens the cap hit, they could. Guys like Dalvin Cook wouldn't get cut.
So the team only pays 70% of the cap for the running back.
Whatever it is. I don't know what the exact number will be. I don't know how the math will be. But therefore, the team can be like, you know what? We'll sign you.
I agree that could happen. The thing that makes me think it won't happen is because there's still some running backs who are getting paid. Derrick Henry's still getting paid. Joe Mixon's still making a lot of money. Granted, it's not 20, it's 9. Saquon Barkley, if he signs a contract, is going to make $10 million, the franchise tag. Like, it's going to have to be to the point where there's not a
single. But what if I put it in perspective like this?
Yeah.
Just put yards and touchdowns on the fucking table. It's like, okay, my receiver, I've had more. If I'm a running back, I've had more yards than your receiver, and I've had more touchdowns, and I'm getting paid less. Does that make sense?
You get hit more. Because the problem is the long-term investment. Like, if I was a GM, I would never sign a running back to anything more than a year. Why would you?
Yeah. There's a lot of arguments out there. I feel like
don't think
that's the
let me
only
rephrase. As the cases I've laid out, I think it sucks. I would love for running backs to get what's due to them because they play a very hard position. I don't want to make it seem like I'm anti-running back. I'm just saying, what the fuck's the case, bro? Like, it sucks. Like, I want them to get paid, and I'm making the case, and it's like, oh, fuck, what are we really saying?
Yeah, because Barkley's deal is basically the same thing that he would have signed. It's just with a bunch of incentives in there.
Yeah, and it's 1 year. That's the key. It's like, we don't want to give you long-term money.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zeke.
I think the only way to do it is all the running backs have to fucking
sit out.
Strike, bro.
Low key, that's crazy, but yeah, I get you.
That would be crazy. But that was a good conversation on running backs. We'll cut that out and post it on YouTube for you guys. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's get this last team. Denver Broncos. Head coach Sean Payton coming back to coach football out of the booth. OC Joe Lombardi and DC Vance Joseph. Last year, 5-12, last in the division, missed the playoffs.
Did Hackett get fired mid-year, or he made it the whole year? I think he made it the whole year.
Oh,
it was bad, though.
Horrific season for the Denver Broncos. The Russ situation, the Hackett situation.
A lot of Hackett slander still from Sean Payton and stuff.
Yeah. But this team has a lot of talent. You know what? The AFC West is full of talent, but these two teams, the Broncos and the Raiders, I just do think they're way, way lower on the totem pole.
I disagree.
To the Chargers and
maybe
Chiefs?
the Chiefs, not the Chargers. I think here's my thing with Denver. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think you were a guy who loved Russell Wilson until last year, and now you're like convinced he can never be good again, which I find crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, you ride with Derek Carr for years, but you can't ride with the guy who's actually been a Hall of Fame.
I feel like his game has been compromised.
I don't think so.
What made Russ good?
His ability to throw the ball and make magic.
He can't do that no more.
But I don't think he has to because Sean Payton, what he's done already, he went out and got Mike McGlinchey. He went out and got another offensive lineman, a big fucking lock. They're going to run the fucking rock. Sean Payton is, we all think.
I'm not a big fan of Mike McGlinchey, but.
I know you're not, but he can run the ball. He's good at pass block. I mean, he's a good run blocker. But here's what my thing. We always think about Sean Payton. It's just like, oh, he just airs it out. But he doesn't. Towards the end of the career with Drew Brees,
he ran the ball.
And they were a really good team. They have an awesome defense. You can't talk shit about defense. Defense is stacked. I think they run the ball, play defense. They can be just every bit as good as the Saints. And fucking Russell Wilson's better than Drew Brees was the last 2 years of his fucking career. That fucking washed bum. So I think the writing's on the wall for them to bounce back. I really do. And that's how much I believe in Sean Payton, and I think of what they're building there. Because the defense is there. Defense is there, right?
But
you're telling me Sean Payton...
They regressed from the year before that.
They regressed a little bit. That's Vic Fangio. You lose him.
Yeah.
But they added some guys.
You have faith in Vance Joseph?
I like Vance Joseph as a DC, not as a head coach.
I do like Patrick Surtain. He's one of the best corners in the league. In some opinions, is the
Justin
best
Simmons is good. Not my favorite. They still have the pass rushers. They have Gregory. They can rush. They can get after it.
No, they're like
Drew Sanders is there.
Like I said, you can name a lot of names with the Raiders and the Broncos. A lot of elite players, all pro.
I wouldn't say that about the Raiders, buddy.
What do you mean? We got like 3 all pros, Max.
Name them:
Crosby, Devontae, Josh Jacobs.
I don't really like those guys. I like Crosby. Josh Jacobs ain't on your team, asshole.
We have arguably the 2 best players in their position. That's besides the point.
How good's your quarterback? Trash. Worst one in the division.
Okay. That's where it all comes down to.
Let Russ cook. They need to let Russ cook.
Okay.
Small stuff, though. Not big meal. Small stuff.
Okay.
Use the air fryer like you would. You're a cook.
Look, I think that quote that Sean Payton said about Nathaniel Hackett is a huge fucking red flag.
I think it's a green flag. Fuck this guy. Fuck that motherfucker. He ruined Russ.
I don't think they're going to do all that good this year. Would they win 7 games? 6?
They're going to get 9. And 9, I'm thinking 9. I mean, dub week 1. Easy dub. Easy, light work. Light work.
Even though we're like 6-0 against the Broncos, best.
Old regime.
Okay.
Old regime.
Like I said, the fucking people in Denver, 6 in a row, asshole. All right. Anyway, key additions. You said McGlinchey, Jarrett Stidham,
Raider great.
New Year's
Bring the
Day.
playbook over.
I know, right? Samaje Perine, who I love.
I think he's a really good running.
Yeah, I really like.
Obviously, Javonte is kind of he should be good to go at some point. So
had a solid draft class. Drew Sanders, whether it's really how you think about him.
I liked him. We liked him.
Yeah. I was kind of sour on him, but it wasn't really that good of a linebacker class. Let's be honest. But they got Drew Saunders. Key losses. Draymond Jones, who I thought it was a great pickup for the Seattle Seahawks.
They're going to miss that interior rush from him.
Yeah, exactly. But it all comes down to the Sean Payton and Russ with this team. Let's just be honest. I don't think Russ is the same.
Sean Payton was winning games with Taysom fucking Hill.
Yeah. I think the Saints were a whole different animal. I don't think the Broncos have all that much offensive talent besides Javonte in the running back group. I don't think their offensive line is all that good. I do not think their receivers are that good. I think Cortland Sutton is at best starting 2. I don't think he's a 1. We've seen what happened to Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy. I'm kind of closing the book on Jerry Jeudy. I think Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, same thing. Like, I feel like they have their ups, they have their downs. I'd rather take Calvin Ridley. I would have loved it if they got him rather than Jerry Jeudy. And the tight end position,
Alberto.
Yeah, they have the other guy too, though, that they drafted very high.
Who?
I'm forgetting his name. I am just blanking out on the AFC West today. But I don't
look it up.
I don't like their offense, Max. I don't think they're gonna have enough firepower like the Saints did. I got them going under 8.5.
So what do you think their record is, though? Just
I think they win 8.
Oh, fuck you. They can definitely win 9.
That's best case. That's best case.
Oh, best case
8.
for me is 9. I'm thinking it's going to happen.
So we're close. Oh, so you scared?
I think they have I think they're like a really boomer bust. I don't think.
Like last year?
Last year I was thinking more people were thinking boom than bust. This year it's like 50-50.
Okay. All right.
I like Sean Payton a lot. I think you're underestimating him.
I like Sean Payton too, Max.
Mile high.
And I really liked Russ. I really do.
I think Russ, I talked a lot of shit about Russ. I think he's coming back. Fuck you for spurning the Eagles, but I think he'll come back. Yeah.
I don't trust his game right now, Max. I feel like those injuries have caught up to him. And
he needs to take some
but
imaginary
the thing what Sean
snaps.
Payton wants from him, like if he's gonna be like, okay, you beat Drew Brees. I don't think Russell Wilson can beat Drew Brees.
No, I think it's gonna be like play action, throw a couple deep shots.
I don't think that's.
I think that's him exactly.
I think it's more of him. Like,
I think he needs to call some plays, an imaginary huddle. Do his shit. Remember like pregame Russ.
And I just feel like Russ is fucking full of himself, bro. The
they got rid of his office. His office is gone.
Is his parking spot still fucking there?
I don't know.
It's fucking 3 parking spots.
Yeah,
he's like you, double park it in your fucking neighborhood, bro.
Fuck that lady, bro.
All right, but that's the AFC West for you guys. So we got over for the Chiefs, we got over for the Chargers, and we got both under for the Raiders. And you have over for the Broncos. I have under for the Broncos. All right, so going to be an interesting thing, man. Let's go ahead and pick our Coach of the Year, MVP, and
Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. Let's skip Offensive Player. We'll just do MVP. Okay. Coach of the Year. I got Andy Reid. Best coach in the division. I don't even think it's close.
Andy Reid.
No, Sean Payton love for you?
Nah, no. Fuck it. Sean Payton. Yeah.
Okay.
I like a story. Like the quote Jackie Chan from Russia. I like a story.
All right. MVP. I'm going to go Herbert.
Come on.
We both got Herbert.
Yeah,
Right,
come
Herbert.
on.
Hey, we picked Herbert last year.
Fuck it. Fuck Mahomes.
And Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go Patrick Surtain. I feel like last year it was a little early to call him give him the belt. I think this year he's going to take the belt.
Well, Max Crosby.
Max Crosby.
You like that?
I love that. But I feel like Surtain is probably going to take that belt because the team's success, if they wind up
I got you.
doing good. All right. That's going to do it. All right. If you guys have any comments, go ahead and go down below and go ahead and type them up, man. What do you think?
Subscribe, like the video, please.
Yeah,
If you made it this far. Check out some MJC originals we made. Austin Reeves.
Check out the whole content of the channel.
The library, content library.
Yeah, content library. We do MJC originals. We do podcasts. We do live streams. Go ahead and check us out this football season. We do pick'ems and we do reviews after all the games are done, man. So we appreciate you guys. Go ahead and catch us next time. We out. Peace.